Hi Gemini, it's Jen here from Tarot Spirit, here for your January 2016 tarot reading. Oops. Oh, well, okay, we got a jumper. Sorry about that. Okay, let's get on to your reading. I'm using the Steampunk Tarot today by Barbara Moore, which I like very, very much. Ooh, woo, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. The first ones were, I've done probably, this is like my 9th reading, and the bunch of them were like about codependency for some reason, and then Taurus just had a really nice, sort of more love reading, and look at, you got the Tower. Dun, dun, dun. It's okay, don't worry. I actually kind of like the Tower because this is like one of those things where like you can be in denial and ignore something forever, but it's this, just because you kind of ignore it and hope it goes away doesn't mean it's going to go away. And this is like, it's finally going to just be dealt with. And it's always going to be better on the other side of the Tower. It is. It just is. Like, this was inevitable. It had to happen. And because you couldn't make it happen or didn't want to make it happen or whatever the circumstances were around it, and it could be something you didn't actually even have any control over until the tower's going to come along and deal with it. So it may be painful potentially, but on the other side of it, it's going to be better. Okay, so it's sort of like things are going to get better from here on out. So let's try to see what's going on here. This was the card that jumped out. 8 of Pentacles. This has been coming up a lot lately. So in times of the Tower, your spiritual practice or your me time, your groundedness, your centeredness, however you allow yourself to unwind and deal with stress, and the sort of the work that you've done or the thing that you do that allows you to sort of calm your mind and be present and mindful, that type of practice is really either going to help you through the Tower, or this is part of something that you're going to get out of the Tower. It's going to sort of force you to seek out that you do that helps you stay centered. Whether it could be anything. It could be tinkering in a garage on an old car. It could be gardening. It could be running. It could be meditation. Whatever. Helping. Working at the food shelf. Whatever. When you're doing it, it helps you feel really grounded and good, and it recharges you. It's not draining. And the Tower could be coming in because you haven't been making time for this, and it could help clear the way so that becomes a priority again. And we just had the Lovers come up. So the Lovers is all about, a good way to look at it is, are you honoring your commitments? So it's about what you say and your actions actually matching. So if you say your kids are the most important thing to you, and all they want to do is go to Disneyland, but you never bring them to Disneyland, yet somehow you have money to go on a vacation with your buddies or something, do you really put your kids first? If you say, you adore your wife and you put her first, but you go out, or your husband, vice versa, but you go out for drinks every night with the guys and you don't call her, even she's made dinner, and, it's sort of a disrespect, or it's the little ways you choose to honor your commitments every day, and little choices. And those little choices, if you're the majority of the time not honoring your commitments, that it builds resentment and sours relationships and proves that you're really not committed to it. You know, getting married and saying I do, it really doesn't mean jack. It's how you honor that commitment every day in little ways. So this card is like, have you been honoring your commitments? Um, and if not, you know, the tower may come in and show you that. But I think that I feel like this is more the aftermath of the tower, and that it has created an aha moment, this enlightenment where you're like, you appreciate, you know, your family, your job, your whatever, and are now really making a conscious effort that what you say is important is what you're spending your energy and time on. Oh, yeah, definitely. Because then you have the Ten of Pentacles. You know, what legacy do you want to leave? What foundations, what type of home are you creating? Are you creating a safe home of unconditional love? You know, what is the home atmosphere like? What are your children? What what's the word I want to say? What example are you for your children? What are you, you know, what are your actions teaching your children? Are you building a strong foundation? Are you honoring your a significant other? Are you honoring your children? How do you treat your family? How do you treat your commitments? What example are you leading? And boy, I feel like and this may not have even happened to you. I was getting my hair cut yesterday, and the person next to me said that her friend had like 30 people over to her house for Christmas. Um, and it was it was kind of stressful, but had a whole family there. And the next day they woke up and they found her father had passed during the night. I'm gonna start crying. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. And so she was incredibly, and this isn't even anyone I knew. I just heard the story and it was just like such a wake up call. Like, you never know. You just never know. And she was so grateful that she had everyone over and that was his last experience. But boy, something like that, I'm not telling anyone that someone's going to die, but even just hearing something like that is my point, can say, okay, am I honoring myself by making time to fulfill my soul? Am I honoring my commitments? What legacy am I going to leave behind? And asking yourself those types of questions can be extremely life-changing in a very positive way. Just to sort of check in with yourself. Use this example again. This may not happen to you. It may happen. It may be something you see on the news. Or it may just be like, I don't want to have the tower come in order to have that sort of enlightened wake-up call to change my life, to make sure I'm living it authentically and honoring my commitments and what I say is important to me, and making sure I'm honoring that, whether it's myself, you know, this myself and what's important to me, my relationship, or my family. So this is a pretty big spiritual growth month for you. And I think you're going to be extremely grateful as you head into February for the realizations you had during the month of January. So thank you so much for stopping by. Take care, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye.